Good morning, YouTube family. This is Brother John, and I want to share a special message with you today. Today is Spy Wednesday. This message is brought to us by a Trad West from a post I received on X this morning. I wanted to share it with everyone. Today is Spy Wednesday, a day of betrayal cloaked in silence. But what makes it so grave? What secret turns the tide of history on this day? It begins with whispered plots in the temple and ends with 30 pieces of silver and a kiss of betrayal. Today the shadows deepen. Jerusalem, the holy city, buzzes with pilgrims preparing for the great feast of the Passover. The temple is filled with offerings, prayers, and the smoke of sacrifices. But behind closed doors, in the chambers near the sanctuary, the chief priests, scribes, and elders of the people are plotting. And the chief priests and the scribes were seeking how to arrest him by stealth and kill him, for they said, "Not during the feast, lest there be a riot of the people." Mark chapter 14, verses 1 and 2. They are terrified, not of God, but of the people. Only days ago, Jesus of Nazareth had entered the city to cries of "Hosanna!" The crowds had hailed him as the Son of David. His teachings in the temple were captivating, his authority irresistible. The people hung on his every word. To arrest him now at the height of the Passover week could provoke an uprising, and the Romans would not hesitate to crush it. So the rulers decide to wait. Let the feast pass, then perhaps in secret they could seize him and dispose of him quietly. To their astonishment, a familiar figure seeks admittance. Judas Iscariot, one of the 12, a man who had walked with Jesus, shared meals with him, witnessed his miracles, now stands before them, his face unreadable. "What will you give me," he says, "if I deliver him to you?" Matthew 26:15. A murmur of wicked delight passes through the council. They had not dared to hope for this. Divine providence, or so it seems to them, has handed them the very key to Jesus' downfall. The deal is struck. They could count out 30 pieces of silver, the price of a slave, the very sum foretold by the prophet Zechariah centuries before. So they weighed it out as many wages, 30 pieces of silver. Zechariah 11:12. Judas takes the money. The covenant of betrayal is sealed. And now the plan is in motion. Judas, who has access to Jesus' private moments, will find the right time, away from the crowds, to lead the temple guards to him. But how to make sure they arrest the right man? Judas has a signal. "The one I kiss is the man. Seize him." Matthew 26:48. A kiss, the universal gesture of affection and peace, twisted into the sign of betrayal. Spy Wednesday, as Holy Wednesday is commonly referred to, named for the secret treachery of Judas, the spy, among the 12, confronts us with the darkest turn of Holy Week. The Lord of glory being sold like a common slave, betrayed by a friend, hunted by his own priests, and targeted by those who should have recognized him as the Messiah. And yet none of this is outside of God's plan. The priests think they act in secrecy. Judas believes he moves in shadow, but the light of prophecy shines through it all. The Paschal Lamb must be sacrificed, not next week, but this very Passover, as ordained before the foundation of the world. The 30 pieces of silver are not random, but foretold. Even the kiss of betrayal becomes a step toward the cross, where love will conquer sin and death. Today, the church enters into sorrowful remembrance. For centuries, Wednesday has been a day of penance and fasting to atone for the betrayal of Christ. Not just Judas's betrayal, but all betrayal, including our own. Such is the impious scheme devised on this day, within the precincts of the Temple of Jerusalem, to testify her destination at it, and to make atonement to the Son of God for the outrage thus offered him. The Holy Church, from the earliest ages, consecrated the Wednesday of every week to penance, In our own times, the fast of Lent begins on a Wednesday, and when the Church ordained that we should commence each of the 4 seasons of the year with fasting, Wednesday was chosen to be one of the 3 days thus consecrated to bodily mortification. Reverend Dom Prosper Granger, abbot of Solesmes. Probably butchered that. So let us reflect. Do I betray Jesus in secret, even as I profess him in public? Do I trade the eternal for the temporary, as Judas did? Do I follow Christ when it's convenient and flee when it costs? Let us join the Church in mourning this day with sorrow, fasting, and renewed love for the one betrayed for our salvation. The silver has changed hands. The Lamb is prepared. Tomorrow the Passion begins. Will you pick up your cross and follow him, or abandon him like Judas?